Okay, Wednesday morning in the kingdom, and it's warm and windy. See, I got my toque on. Yes, the Canadian toque. I think the Americans call it a beanie, but in Canada it's a toque because we can't spell it. All right, this morning we woke up to -2 Celsius, but feels like -7. It's nice to be on location here. And on the yo-yo scale, +28, but feels like +19. See, I told you it's warm out here. Freaking real. And it's nice to be on location. I'm not stuck in the hose shack with the me phone in where it's warm. Well, I'm outside standing in the cold. All right, a quick scroll this way. Look at the sun. It's bright over here. I'm on the other side of the yard. Yeah, notice there's no wood smoke from the chimney because I haven't started the fire yet. It's still warm in the shop. Unreal. So this is a little strange being on this side of the yard. We got lots of reflections on the camera screen. All right. So here we have all the toys lined up, the fun toys. And over here. Yes. According to Facebook memories. Ooh, that sun is bright. We're not used to it. All right. According to Facebook memories this time last year. Now I can't see anything. Oh, man. Just like when I drink. All right. According to Facebook memories this time last year, we had both Lynn tractors out and it was deep snow. We were having fun and it was cold. Yes, and look at this year. No snow and too warm. It must be that El Nino guy. I don't know. Is that Spanish? El Nino? I don't know. I'm confused. All right, but the TD18s did good yesterday. They came out of the shop. Greatest smoke show on earth. And then they thermostats warmed up the motor and had even heat amongst the cylinders and the injectors, and then it all got happy. Yes, that's unreal. So just take it upon yourself to fix it and fix it right. Don't listen to others. Do it. Yes, that's what I've been doing. Oh, the sun is so bright I can't get over it. It's unreal. Maybe I should have more sunglasses on or whatever. But here's the great cat collection. I think there's 12 of them here that are running. I don't know. I can't count. But there's 12 of them here, I think. Look at them. I can't see anything. It's all a glare. So today's going to be a relaxing day in the kingdom. We're going to weld and weld some more when it warms up, and that'll be after lunch. So in the morning, we'll be in the shop feeding the wood stove. Well, I better go. Here comes the boss.
Haven't been around in a while. We just got back from Mexico. And an awesome time down there with awesome people. Don't ever let anybody tell you not to go to Mexico. Go experience it for yourself because it was a blast. I did catch a Mexican cold while I was down there, so I'm sick like the rest of us in the world right now. But I just wanted to come on, say hi to everybody. And also the part 2 of the Sir Rodney World Tour begins tomorrow morning. Picking up my buddies at 4:30 in the morning. We're going to make a brief stop in Fargo for some gas for my truck and some breakfast for my belly. And then we're going to head on out, pick up another friend at the Minneapolis airport, go to our final destination of St. Paul, Minnesota. We'll be there tomorrow night and probably hit the Mall of America Friday or whatever happens. Got to go maybe check in at Hooters for lunch. And then Saturday at the Excel Center in St. Paul, watch the Jets beat the Minnesota Wild, hopefully. And then right back home on Sunday. So I thought I'd come on. Hope everybody's feeling good. And we'll talk to you all later.
Okay, it looks like it's going to be a shop day today. I don't know if you guys can hear the Wyoming or Saskatchewan wind blowing out there. So it's a little too windy, but sunny and warm kind of thing. But that wind makes it nasty. All right, so the reason why we brought the 46 in right here, because these two trucks basically need the same work done to it. It gets too confusing, all right? Okay, so this is a 38 Maple Leaf, which is a Canadian Chevy, okay? Which means it's heavy duty, and then we call it the Johnny Cash truck because they took it one piece at a time, so it's very confusing. So we started back in 2012 working on it. We gave up because it was too confusing. Everything from the wheel seals to the wheel bearings to everything on this truck is confusing, all right? Then in 2019, we started back at it again, and then we gave up. Yeah. And then I think it was 2020. That's when we were in the great lockdowns. That's when we got around to figuring it out. So this truck is different. It's a 1938, but basically it has a 1940s 6 suspension. So anything on this truck here is the same as the one back there, the 46 back there. So isn't that confusing? Okay, but we know the history of this truck right from day one, and it has been in the family for a long time. I rode around in it in a poopy diaper back on the family farm. Yes, it was a grain truck, but we had to shorten the frame because they played Dukes of Hazzard and went airborne off a T intersection into the farmer's field loaded with grain and bent it. So it never passes safety. So we shortened the frame because there was a 2-inch bow in it. So basically during the great lockdowns, everybody else was boo-hooing and stuff like that. It was great for us. We went out of business as a business. I became retired and I worked on my collectibles. So Sir Rodney had to do a lot of thinking and work to get wheel seals and everything on these wheels. Okay, because they're felt seals back in 1938, and he had to get pieces machined and make wheel seals fit, so everything is new style. So basically, the brakes on this thing here, this backing brake or whatever, this front axle is basically a 1945 Mack fire truck, so that's where you get the parts. So we've upgraded to all new tie rods and drag links and everything like that. The springs have been redone. And this is the way we're doing it. We're doing it properly. But this is the worst truck of the fleet, the black fleet, okay? The 38 GMC was in nice shape. It was a farm truck from south of Alexander, Manitoba. And this coming from Reston, Manitoba, I don't know what they did, but it sure did take a licking. So I think 2012, we put the ptarmigan grill in and just booger weld the frame or the shroud or grill shell back together because it was busted. But a maple leaf, you just don't run out and get another grill shell. Okay, to make sure these trucks can survive the winter roads up here and the ice roads and stuff, we put the 3-inch bumper on the front and anchor it good. So that way we know when we have major brake fails on the ice and not stopping, we can hit something and bounce it off. So we had acquired an 86 Chevy Suburban. Yes, an 86 Chevy Suburban from Wisconsin that has the chrome valve covers, the Eldebrock high-rise aluminum manifold to make it go zoom faster. So we put this motor in and we tried to incorporate as much as a Chevy's parts as we can. All right, so that's why the power booster's up there, because the original one is under the floor and we don't like that. But seeing how we're hot rodding old school, it's what we have, what we use. We're not ordering this fancy little small brake booster and all that kind of stuff, because 1, there is no money, 2, there is no money, and 3, there is no money. So okay, so now we're going to finish off both of these trucks. As you can see, we got the overflow rad thingy here, compliments to Sir Rodney, and the aluminum radiator. Okay, so this is kind of funny. This is a 38, but it has the grill shell or the rad cradle the same as the 46, so it gets very confusing. So we're running the ram horn manifolds on all the Chevy trucks because it clears the steering box and it fits in. We learned that back in that'd be 86 or I think, or 89, somewhere in there. We had the 46 Chevy welding truck and we ran the ram horn manifolds. So you can buy those right from Rock Auto, cheaper than you can buy them used. All right, so over here we have the automatic transmission, so we have to figure out the park brake over here. We have the shifter and 2-speed figured out. This cab's been welded back together. We did that in 2012, so we used lots of welding rods. All right, so we also got the cab mounted up on the rubber blocks, and here's the wiring mess as we plugged along at it. Now, I think we stopped working on these things in the spring of 2022. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I can look at my YouTube videos to see. Okay, for the 38 Maple Leaf, we have a welding deck that will fit on here. That's why the wheelbase was shortened for this welding deck, and to get rid of the 2-inch bend in it. Yes, it was bananaed. So all the trucks have this if they have the V8 or a 6-cylinder, they have the straight pipes on the back, which is 2-inch pipe from the mine. We don't cheap out. And we have the exhaust system down here, which is simple and everything like that. And that's how we shortened the frame there. Quality welds. It was done by me and I was sober. Okay, so this tells you how bad this truck is. Here's the overloads for the springs. So you can tell that they were well worn out. There they are right there. So we acquired some other ones. So we're going to work away and figure things out. We have to fix those. Here's all the parts we got to put this truck back together. All the new stuff and everything like that. And Sir Rodney made up, I think, 8 sets of these park brake cables, or I think it was, back in 2022 for these trucks, because we couldn't buy the cables online or anything like that, so Sir Rodney had to have them custom made. So these are the last set to be installed, and we have all the fittings and everything here. Okay, so all the trucks are the same. We have brand new brake rods and stuff like that. So as we don't have the factory Chevy park brake right here, so we'll be using the how would you say, that's out of a 46 Ford or something, but don't tell anybody we're putting Ford parts on a Chevy. Okay, so over here in 1974, the original motor was rebuilt for this truck in the town of Reston, Manitoba, and the truck was sitting outside and they stole both headlights. Yes, they stole both headlights, but they only found one. So my childhood memories of this truck, it only had the one headlight, and they had to make their own bracketry for the headlight to work. So we kind of have to look for some headlights, or we go to the same ones we used on the 38 GMC to keep it simple. So we're laying out all the parts. We have all the new hinges for the hood. We have everything laid out. So this project should go nice and easy as the world melts around us. Okay, the 46 Chevy 3-ton or 2-ton came from Ilford, Manitoba, and it had a tow bar on the front right here, and we put the deck on here for the water tanks. The water tank sits nicely back there. So that's the way it was. And then we decided, I think it was 2021, I think it was, we decided to hell with this, towing the truck around. We have all these extra motors and everything like that in the part shed. Let's make this thing running and driving. So we never thought much of this truck. We just painted it, made it look good in the pictures, and we just towed it when we needed water. So we tossed a 78 Chevy square body motor and transmission into here. And then the Lynn tractor number 2 had the incident with the V12. I don't know what I was smoking or drinking that day. I should have just sold that motor a long time ago, but Sir Rodney did that for me in 2023. You know, enough of this interchanging, interbreeding, whatever. Keep it Chevy small blocks and they all work. So this is a 305 junker motor, okay, and transmission. This was in the 41 Chevy to get the weird ass sounds. The cam was shot on it, so we yanked it out, changed it out, and we got the 305 back in here with a used cam, and it runs not too bad. So we're building the water truck, but we're doing it right in case, you know, for my estate sale, somebody wants to buy it at the Barrett-Jackson auction online, and then they want to drive it home. So we don't mind spending money on this because it's not being spent foolishly on women. So with the 305 in here, it fits nicely, and everything is the same. We have the aluminum rod in there because we bought one size fits all, and we have the overflow tank here, and then that's the master cylinder brake booster out of that 78 Chevy square body. Yes, those are good trucks. All right, so over here this cab is a little rusted but not bad, so we think we're going to stop all work on the motors and the electricals and figure out this cab, because there's no sense, how would you say, like they put some strapping back here to support it, but we should get this cab welded up solid, because there's no sense doing all the electrical and farting around and then, how would you say, try to weld, because what's going to happen with your welding and sparks? They're going to go everywhere but where you want them. So we've done a fair amount of work on this truck, and we're very pleased, and it's not, how would you say, it's not money wasted. So we're going to have fun driving this. Okay, on the other side of the 46 Chevy 2-ton, as you can see, we got the pipe bumper on the front. Like, we have to nip it in once the fenders are back in. New springs, everything on this. And we have the tie rod, drag links, and everything to install. New kingpin, new brakes, new everything, and new tires. Yes, you want to spend money foolishly? Buy tires. It lasts a lifetime. All right, so the exhaust is all done on this truck, and we go back here, and you can see a little bit of rust here. Okay, so here we are. See if we can work in here. This thing has the automatic transmission, so we have to mount the park brake thingy over there. So we have to do it to one, we do it to the other, and figure out the gauges and stuff like that. All right, let's see if we can do a quick turn. So I'm laying out all the pieces here. Okay, so we got some 45 Chevy parts. That's the one with the ramp deck and the white roof. And here's the pieces, the floorboards, the door Jimmy Bob things you put in there when you're welding the cab together so it's straight. And we have the fuel tank over here and the exhaust up here. We had to take the back window out to get a template, and we're going to put the back window back in as glass, not plexiglass. So here's the new parts ready to go, and we have the park brake cables, the actual Chevy park brake actuator or lever, and over here we have all the wiring. So that's why we buy in bulk, because everything we do it right. Okay, after lunch in the kingdom, and it's nasty here. I checked the weather, the aviation channel weather, not the weather network, because the weather network wasn't working as usual. But it's going to start raining or snowing here right away. That's the forecast. So I can't wait for the staff to come and help me put the 3-in-1 bender in the shop. We're not going to put the table in the shop. We're going to set this on the back of the 46 Chevy truck. This wasn't planned. I wasn't going to do body work or anything on that cab. I was going to do all the electrical and stuff like that, but that's pointless. So now we'll get this 3-in-1 bender in the shop and see what we can do before the rains come, because this wind is unreal. We'll scroll this way. Just look at the flags go. Hey, they're not tangled up. I don't know how that happened. Okay, I'll film inside the shop here, so that way the wind noise isn't too bad. So that worked out pretty good, but I was well organized, well planned. I had unbolted the 3-in-1 bender from the table over there, had the straps ready, and then I pulled the 46 Chevy out, and then went and got the bender. So that worked pretty good. The mini hoe is so handy for these little things. You don't have to get the forklift out or the loader with forks or anything like that. Just get it done. Yes. All right, let's get this strap down, back in the shop before we lose all the heat in here. It's nasty out there. Okay, I beat the weather and we got everything in the shop. On my list, I need some rubber belting for cab mount. So I couldn't find a piece big enough to make all the pieces, so I just grabbed a chunk, okay? I remember growing up down south, belting was very rare. Like, you had to have people in the gravel industry or whatever, and it cost more than a case of beer to get belting. I remember that well. Also too, when I was out in the shed there, I was gathering up the defrost tubing. Yes, the defrost tubing, because we're going to put the defrost on the truck here. Oh, I better get the flashlight. Okay, I got the flashlight. Back in 2020, 21, whatever year it was, we were doing all this. Oh, also too, I was smart enough to leave a note. So it was in 2021 when we worked on this truck extensively, okay? So that's the cowl vent open. All right, so when we did the 45 Chevy, which is the one that my grandpa got hit by the train, we did everything the same because they're the same cabs, basically just 1 year apart. So we mounted these expensive heaters, okay? So we even made sure we had the little spouts there, okay? And there's the defrost thing right there, and it blows up on the windshield up here. So there seems to be a wasp nest blocking that. So it's best I run my vent tubing or my defrost tubing now in here, okay? Then try to work it in after when I put all the wires. That's what I did on the 45, and I regretted that, like when I said I do. Okay, when we did the shop extension back in November of last year, that would be 2023. Okay, remember, this is my memory. These videos are my memory. So, okay. So we had a door that was extra large. It was off the new shop, and it was for the loader or whatever to go in. So we put it over there, and then we built a door for over here. And the plan was we open and close that door to get little things in. And we didn't plan on moving the welder. We thought it'd be the mini hoe coming in and out. But we had to move the welder because of the exhaust pipe in the chimney and everything. So a long story short, we put the truck in, open that door, the wheelbarrows and the wagon come in fully loaded. So this works out good. So nothing was planned on this extension, but it's working out very well. So I got my root balls, okay? So now I can have some steady heat and then feed the core boxes kindling stuff to keep the fire going. A root ball won't burn by itself, so if you add the dry kindling stuff, it performs very well. Also too, when we did the 45 Chevy 3-ton, we had the 3-in-1 bender on the table and we set it over the wheels right here. So we had that 1-inch steel plate table we got from the mine back in the day, and we just set it over the wheels. So here we have the decking for the tank. That's the joys of scrap metal. We reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Just like the gas tank here is actually a little TD6 gas tank. All right. So we put it there. There was no place else. And the ones that go under the seat, whoa, they want a lot of money, but they rust out. So we utilized all the gas tanks we had for under the seats, and then we had to go to this here. So the 41 and the 46 have the TD9s or TD6 gas tanks. So as safety precaution, seeing how this 3-in-1 bender is a little bit of money, I put a safety strap on just to come in the shop here. And now I'll bolt it down, and then we can begin production. Okay, really good day sorting through stuff, finding pieces, and this is stuff we had in a hot rod truck or whatever, hot rod truck or whatever. That was a dream, that thing. All right, so here we are stripping the dash apart. Yes, we took the heater off and we used the different colors. Purple means that it stays, yellow means that it gets filled in. So we'll do each truck individually. So that's just great fun. All right, see if we can walk and talk. And also too, back here, the 46 is looking good. We have the same pattern or whatever, but the thing is we're dressing it up, making it look good. So once we get the firewall all done in, and then we can start on the body mounts and stuff like that. All right, let's go check on the flags.
Wednesday morning in WHO-ville, and it's just after 8 a.m. and I'm getting ready for work. As you can see, it is pretty warm out here today, and it's kind of cloudy. It might snow because of how warm it is. I made some rainbow bit cupcakes last night for my little helper's birthday, and they are pretty good. It's what I'm having for breakfast. Once I'm done school, I can go to the kingdom and drop a few off for my dad. I'm not sure what we'll be doing today because it's pretty warm. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out, make breakfast. 8:30 and I'm just getting ready for work now. Looks like it's going to be another warm day. It's already starting to melt, as you can hear behind me coming off the house. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. 12:30, I'm just finishing up lunch. I had leftover pork chop and rice from last night. The birthday supper was a success. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. The grade 2s are having a pretty good morning. There's only 7 students. Just after 4:30 and I made it to the kingdom. It sure is windy out here today. The Canada flag is all tangled up, as you can see. Plus there's some clouds rolling in, so it might snow or rain. Now it's time to head on down to the shop and see what my dad's up to. Down at the shop, and it looks like we're not doing anything today. My dad was able to get the 3-in-1 bender inside the shop on his own. He doesn't need my help with that. I just have to do a couple videos on the Caboose here and how it sunk down with the warm weather we had, and then take a couple videos and pictures of it, and then I can head on back into WHO-ville. Underneath the welding sleigh, and I'm not sure if you can see how much it melted down, but right here is where the snow level originally was, and this is the ski. It sunk down a good couple inches on either side, and I'll go over to the Caboose and show you as well, but you can kind of see it from here how much it sunk down with all this warm weather. The front of the Caboose doesn't look too bad. Within the last few days of all this warm weather, we sure lost a lot of snow, and it's gone down a fair bit. I can only imagine how our trails look in the bush. That's why we're not on them, because we don't want to wreck them and have stuff like this happen. Now it's time to head inside the Caboose to do a video. Inside the Caboose, and I have to take a couple pictures, so I figured I'd do a little video for you guys showing you around. I'm sure I've done one before, but I might as well do it again. I grew up in this Caboose. It's the original one from our cat training days. I used to sleep up on the top bunks here. My dad was on the bottom on this side, and then all of our stuff used to be here. There's lots of storage in this place as well. The wood stove has always been in this corner here. That way it's right by the door, and you can get your firewood from right here. Just put it right into the wood stove. And then on this side we have where the propane tanks used to go, and all of our other needs and necessities would go into here. This Caboose has lots of storage as well, so it worked perfectly growing up. There's even some storage up here as well. Now I'll show you guys around inside. When you first walk into the Caboose, there's a wood stove on your left here, and then off to your right we have a little storage compartment again. Lots of storage in this Caboose. Everything has a lip on it because when you're traveling with the cat trains, you don't want stuff falling off and moving around. There used to be a TV up on here, and it was braced down as well with the little lip, but now we use it for a fan. Lots of electrical, and there's plug-ins in here as well because we have the welder hooked up to it. Right up above us here we have the emergency hatch, so if you're out on the lakes and the Caboose goes down or something goes wrong, you can always just lift it up and get out the top here. It does open, which is good, and we can also latch it too, so when you're traveling it doesn't blow open by the wind. Every shelf on here has a lip on it, that way nothing falls off. Across from the table and the bench, we have another bench here, but this has a storage underneath. I don't want to open them up because I don't know what's under there. But those are all storage. This Caboose has lots and lots of storage. You can put stuff underneath the bunks as well. I grew up with my Christmas tree right here. Whenever we were on the cat train and we were gone for Christmas, we'd have a nice little one right there. Even got a fancy front window here. I remember looking out at it to my dad who was on the cat while we were out cat training, and if I needed the washroom or was hungry or something, I'd just tap on the window or shine a flashlight. My dad would see me and then we'd stop and I could eat or use the bathroom. Not sure if I brought this up, but there's lots of plugins and lights all over the place too, because when we're traveling on the cat train, we have the welding sleigh right behind, which I will show you here in a second, but it always stays behind the caboose. That way we can run the welder to light the caboose. Just after 5 p.m. I'm officially done in the kingdom. I made sure to grab water jugs and my dog treats so I can go fill up the jugs tomorrow when I'm done at the school. As I said, the Canada flag was all tangled up when I first got here. Well, it looks like it's so windy that I was able to untangle itself. Now let's head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather. Almost 5:30, I made home from the kingdom. Sure is windy out today, so I'm not sure how much of this you'll actually hear. Now it's time to put the skidoo away, let the dogs out, and do the weather. 6 p.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at today. It's 5 degrees Celsius, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's been pretty warm out today and extra windy, so I'm not sure how much of this you'll actually hear. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, 6 o'clock and it's nasty out here. I'm hiding behind the trailer here. And taking the 3-in-1 bender off the table worked out pretty good. And let's see here. We threw some wood in the stove because we're going to have to heat the shop overnight because hopefully it gets cold. Yeah, right. All right, let's see what the flags are up to. Look at them flying in formation. I don't know how that happened. All right, let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, make a video. Talk to you later.